want your business to go to another level. You must try to learn and hear something new. So make the change today. So don't procrastinate and see your business grow and change. So check out Testing Results, yeah, with Tony Harris Taylor. Tony Harris Taylor. Testing Results, oh yeah, with Tony Harris Taylor. Yeah.
Welcome to the Marketing Strategies for Drastic Results show. My name is Tony Harris Taylor, CEO and founder of Drastic Results Marketing and Sales Coaching, where I teach service-based entrepreneurs how to get known, get connected, and get paid. I'm also a franchise owner with Network in Action, where we bring business owners together to build their business, teach them how to be better marketing and salespeople, and bring each other intentional connections. Thanks for joining today's show. Today, I want to talk about something near and dear to my heart, and that is giving back in business is good for business. Now, I'm such a giver, right? I'm a natural giver. I've practiced giving. I've learned how to give. But one area I was not giving in is community service and giving back through organizations. And when I purchased my franchise, this year is 5 years ago, it's part of our brand to do community service with your networking community. And at first I was a little like, what's the point of that? But I'm a rule follower and a brand follower. And so I'm like, why not? And so one of the things I have the privilege of doing is gifting a membership to a nonprofit or someone who is giving back to their community. And I also encourage my members to support that entity as well as give their time and resources to that nonprofit entity. Well, in 2022, I was awarded this beautiful NIA award. Yep. For community service. And it's for the work that I've done in the prison entrepreneurship program. Let me tell you, that program is phenomenal. If you're in the Houston area, you need to participate in PEP is what it's called, the Prison Entrepreneurship Program. And it's been life-changing for me and the gentleman that I've had the opportunity to surround myself with because I started giving back. Now, the word says the more you give, the more you receive. Now, you don't give in order to receive, but it is a natural law that the more you give, the more you receive. And it was very true in my business. And so if you are not giving back in some way in your business, I don't care how small you are. I love the brands that say a portion of their proceeds will go to a cause. The one that comes to mind is the sock company that gives to homeless shelters, gives socks to homeless shelters. So if you give back, people are more attracted to you. And remember, your marketing is all about being attractive. I recently had the time one-to-one with a gentleman who graduated from the Prison Entrepreneurship Program. He has a dog grooming business. And I just encouraged him to take a small percentage of his proceeds and donate to a shelter for animals. He never thought of that. He's like, that is brilliant. It will be a more attractive way for him to get clients. Today, we are going to meet my client, and friend Cassidy Ford, who is she's a significant participant in the franchise community, and you'll hear about that. But she is also a champion for Tourette syndrome. And we're going to learn about her give back calls, franchise tickers, in just a minute. When we come back, we're going to meet my friend Cassidy Ford. We'll be right back.
Are you a franchisor grappling with how to stimulate your franchisees' growth and revenue? Are the phrases, "I'm not comfortable networking," "I'm an introvert"? Enter Tony Harris Taylor, your answer to these challenges. With her expert guidance and program, you can empower your franchisees to conquer networking and community outreach. Tony's program is designed to equip your franchisees with the skills and confidence to show up to the right events with the right people. It goes beyond making connections. It's about nurturing and leveraging these relationships. It's about following up, collaborating, and generating leads and referrals to maximize conversions. And ultimately, increased revenue for your franchisees and for you, the franchisor. Are you ready to unlock this potential? Reach out to us at 832-479-2088. Let's embark on this journey of growth and success together.
Welcome back with my friend Cassidy Ford. Cassidy, welcome.
Thank you so much for having me.
I'm so glad you are here. Let's talk about your way into franchising, and we'll get to franchise. How did you get into the franchise community?
I think I've told this story a million times, and it kind of cracks me up every time I tell it. I found myself, I did not have a job after college because we were in the middle of a recession. There was a lot, it was hard to find a job. And I interviewed with someone. I bombed the interview, Tony. It was awful, but he liked me. He referred me to a friend of his. And this friend just so happened to own a restaurant concept that was a franchise that had just been on Shark Tank. And so they had a great need for someone to come in and help build their business development department. And he hired me. I started kind of the next day. They sat me down at a desk in the front office with 1,500 pieces of paper, a phone, and they told me, you can say this, you cannot say this. This is what an FDD is, start calling. And so that was really how I got started in franchising. And I'm on year 12 now, and it's been a wild ride.
Wow. I didn't know that story. So that's incredible. So where are you now in franchising?
Right. So over the years, I started out working on the franchisor side of things in the restaurant space. And in 2018, it must have been, I actually started working as a franchise supplier in franchising, serving franchisors who had technology needs. And now I've transitioned. I work for Entrepreneur Media. I help franchise brands find more visibility and do that through print and digital advertising.
Okay, very good. Excellent. So I met you in 2022. I think it was at the leadership conference in Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
And I came to the Women in Franchising pre-event and met you and Robin Gagnon. Shout out to Robin. Met you all there, and we had dinner together. You remember that?
I do remember that.
Yeah, it was fun too.
Was.
So tell us a little bit about the Women's Franchising Committee, and those who are not a part of it, why should they take a look at being a part of it?
That's a great question, and something that I am super passionate about. It is one of those things. So, the International Franchise Association has a committee that is the Women's Franchise Committee. There are affinity groups like the Black Franchise Leadership Council, the Pride Council, the Hispanic Latino Leadership Council. But the Women's Franchise Committee, we really focus on bringing more women into the fold in the franchise space, educating women, and providing leadership opportunities, or uh, really encouraging women to find and open doors for themselves, right? So that is something I got involved with a few years ago. I sit on that committee for the IFA, and the Women's Franchise Committee oversees all of the regional women's franchise network groups. And the reason I even got involved with the Women's Franchise Network, which is where you and I ended up meeting through that, was another woman in my company actually invited me to an event, and she paved the way for me to get involved with that. And now I'm the chair of the Women's Franchise Network Atlanta chapter, sit on the Women's Franchise Committee, and I will shout from the rooftops about how important it is to outreach to other women in that regard.
I've had the opportunity to attend a few of your events, and I'm looking forward to doing more with the Women's Franchise Committee as well. So thank you for the work that you're doing there. But let's go over to franchise tickers. Now, I remember when I was talking to you about joining the NIA Franchise Supplier Group, and yes, we have a supplier group if any of you suppliers want to get intentional referrals. You said, I'm with Entrepreneur and this is what I do, but I'm really passionate about restarting my franchise ticker organization. And I was like, what's that? And so you can take it from there.
When I was 17, just to provide a little bit of context for this, when I was 17, I was diagnosed with a neurodevelopmental condition called Tourette syndrome, which causes unwanted movements and sounds. So I'm talking to you, I'm very focused, so I'm able to suppress my tics a little bit, which is kind of a blessing for me. But they do sneak out. And I think it was 2019, I really had this idea of being able to share my story, and I'll tell you a little bit more about that later. But I created a website, and I never published it, but it got me started. And in 2021, I founded the Franchise Ticker, where I kind of explore this intersection of where my professional career has come across my personal life, because for me, those two are very heavily intertwined, and I can't really separate them, because my Tourette syndrome, it exhibits itself in my daily life all day long in the way that I interact with people, and also just how my brain operates and how I relate to other people.
Okay. So you wanted to make this known in the franchise community, but why?
It's something that if I asked a random person on the street if they knew what Tourette syndrome is, they would say most likely, oh, I saw a movie where someone had Tourette syndrome, or I know that they curse a lot. I know that
That's
they
what
can
I
be kind of
said.
weird. Yeah. So a lot of people just don't know. And it's really fascinating once you kind of dig into it about neurodivergence in the professional world, and how greatly that can contribute and limit some of the things that we can do as professionals. And there's some really amazing stories out there of people who are so good at their jobs because they're neurodivergent, or because they have a disability like Tourette syndrome. So it is something that I found a lack of education around. And also, I started out just telling people so that I could operate better within my own environment, because I needed some accommodations. And then it just went from there. And I've really found open arms and open ears when it comes to wanting to learn more about this condition.
Yeah. Now, I don't know if you remember, but you said you wanted to tell us how you got it into franchising. So do you want to share that story?
Yeah. Well, one of the things, and I think it's a question that you'll probably ask me, one of the biggest risks I've ever taken was publishing an article on LinkedIn about having Tourette syndrome. And it was the first step that I took in my career publicly to let everyone know, hey, this is something that I'm dealing with. And this is something that's near and dear to my heart. And it was very personal. And I put it on LinkedIn. And this was in 2018. It was well before people started really putting more personal things on LinkedIn. I got some backlash for it. I had some clients that emailed and were just like, this is a little too personal for you to put on LinkedIn. I had people talking to my boss and saying, hey, is she okay? Like, this is not something that you would normally see online in a professional sense. And ever since then, it's just grown. And it's a much more common practice to be talking about these personal things on LinkedIn in relation to our professional worlds. And the whole aspect of that has changed. And it was a huge step for me. And I was really proud that I did that. And it's the best thing that I've ever kind of bravely done, I think.
Awesome. Well, you continue to educate people, because if we don't know, how can we be aware, and how can we know? So tell me about Franchise Ticker and what are your goals for it?
The Franchise Ticker was founded, when I sat down and thought through what do I want this to represent and what do I want this to stand for, there were 5 pillars that I boiled everything down to. So the first one, I just wanted to normalize vulnerability and connection in franchising and make that a little bit more personal. The second one was that I wanted to encourage women to embrace, I'll say their inner strength. That's not the word I usually use, but I'll say their inner strength. We'll edit that. So, and then I wanted to champion diversity, equity, and inclusion, because that's also something that's really important from a disability standpoint, but also from skin color and background and every education. All of those things are important. Then another part of that too was building up the next generation of folks in franchising, because that is something that I have a skill set, and we all have a skill set as participants in this community to be able to shape what's coming next in our future. And then finally, I wanted to really just shatter stigmas about Tourette syndrome and mental health issues in the franchise space and professional world. So those are the really founding principles that I had when I started the Franchise Ticker. I started with the podcast and social media channels. I do a lot on LinkedIn, and those are my avenues to really get out information about the condition and giving back about fundraising, about ways to support the Tourette community and the Tourette Association of America. And so I took a hiatus from that. You mentioned that I was restarting it. I had to take a hiatus for a year and a half, and I'm back doing this, and I'm so excited, and I have been, so grateful for your support in that endeavor. In the fact that we have these connections, right? If I didn't have people around me saying, hey, this was a worthwhile, you need to start this again, no matter how busy you are, no matter what's going on, like, people need to hear this. So that's where that is right now.
Awesome. Well, we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, the organization is having an event, and it's Tourette Awareness Month coming up. I want to hear more about that. So let's take a quick break, and we'll be right back with Cassidy Ford. We're back with my friend Cassidy Ford, NIA Franchise Connectors member and advocate for Tourette syndrome. and founder of the franchise ticker. Okay. So we talked about your biggest drastic step, putting your personal business online. And people be tripping on LinkedIn. Like you can separate your personal from your business. Get out of here.
I
You
know.
are your business, right? And
Mhm.
so you are personal. People are tripped. Anyway, I am glad you had the courage to be drastic and do that. So tell us about Tourette Awareness Month is coming up and the walkathon because we want to get people involved with that.
The Tourette Awareness Month, the Tourette Association of America, every year from May 15th to June 15th hosts Tourette Awareness Month. And during that month, there is a huge push. It's a fundraising drive, but also an opportunity for us to really get information out into the world about what Tourette really is. So it's more than just what you see someone cursing or on the TV or things like that. That is something that only 1 in 10 of people that have Tourette syndrome actually have coprolalia, or what is called the cursing tic, right? So people don't know that. So that's why we have Tourette Awareness Month. During May 15th to June 15th, we're going to be doing a walkathon. And I have already started walking because I need to get those steps in anyway. But I am very excited to invite everyone in my orbit and beyond to join me in walking to raise awareness for this condition that affects what is actually really 1 in 50 school-aged children have Tourette syndrome or a tic disorder, a persistent tic disorder. So it's shockingly common, and we don't realize it. And that's something that I really just want people to understand.
Awesome. Well, I signed up and I made a
Yeah.
contribution, and I am looking forward to walking with you. And we're just going to have to get on a FaceTime or something
Yeah.
like that and walk together. But I'm going to encourage our members to do the same as well. Why not? We got to get our steps anyway.
Yeah.
So we might as well do it for a good cause, which will push us to do it. So my next question for you is, how important has networking been to your life and business? Because there's only one, y'all. So stop tripping on LinkedIn.
Yeah, I love what you said about you are your brand. You are your business. So networking got me involved in franchising in the first place. If the guy that I had interviewed hadn't connected me with Yin Young at How Do You Roll in what I guess 2013, then I would not be here today. So I have the philosophy when I have a phrase that I always say is, show up, speak up, stand up, right?
Shut up. No way.
It's very similar. I've heard you say something very similar to that. Um, so it's one of those things that I think that the smart ladies in the room know, right? That there's always an opportunity to use your voice to just go up. We're both from Texas, right? So we don't know strangers. It's one of those things where you have to show up and then, stand up and speak up, not just about moral issues or things that you want in life, but to connect with other people. And that is how doors have opened for me over the years, where even if I didn't see a door in front of me, I created one because I went and talked to this person or that person and
Yeah.
asked if they knew another person. And I haven't been afraid to ask for referrals and further connections. And so it's been a beneficial thing for me over the years.
Yeah. And when I met you, who could see that we'd be here now?
I know, I
And
was
that's
sitting
why
over dinner.
I know. So I am so glad to have you a part of my community, a part of my life. And then you're going to help me get some steps in and some calories off. So I appreciate that too. Well, tell everybody how to get in touch with you to learn more about the franchise ticker.
Yes. So, first of all, I didn't mention the goal for the franchise ticker for our fundraiser, thanks to John Francis. Now it was $1,000, but we're going to push for $5,000 this year. So that is, we're going to make it happen, guys. You can get a hold of me. My email is ford.cassidy@thefranchiseticker.com. the LinkedIn, either Cassidy Ford or at the franchise sticker. And then finally, I do have a link tree that is franchise sticker link.tree/franchise sticker.
So I gotta highlight something you said there. So you and John Francis apparently had a one-to-one.
We did.
Told him what's going on, and he said, "Yeah, nah. We gonna up that number." And you said what? Like,
I said, I panicked for a slight second, and then I said, "You're right. You know, we know people. People care. People know us, and there's no reason not to shoot for the moon, right? So we're gonna go for 5,000."
The power of community. All you need is a nudge from someone in your community that says you can do this, and the next thing you know, you've done it. Not doing it, but done it. So congratulations, and I'm excited to see what the end is going to be, but you're going to hit that goal, and we're going to work together to make it happen. Thank you so much, Cassidy, for giving me a few minutes of your time, sharing your mission for the franchise ticker, and I can't wait to see where the end is going to be. We'll be right back with my final thoughts. Wasn't that fun? Cassidy is so cool, and I just love what she had to say. Listen, pick up the book at showuptoblowup.com. And hey, she used show up, stand up, and step up, I think. And I said, shut up. So there you go. If you're not a part of my Facebook group, join the Facebook community at the sixfigurenetwork.com and share this show. And if you're interested in being a guest, send me a DM on your favorite social platform. Let me know you're interested in being a guest. Reach out to Cassidy to give back to the franchise ticker and add a give back strategy to your business. It'll change not only the life of the people you're trying to serve, but also your life. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next week. This is Tony Harris Taylor saying take a drastic step today for a fantastic tomorrow. Bye.